Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I want to discuss real briefly USC's defense and how do they stack up with other defense. We're going to actually look at the numbers. I'm so tired of people. I'm tired of hearing people talk about the defense. I want to see for myself. I was always told that seeing is believing, and I know that you guys feel the same way. Seeing is believing. If we see something, we can actually identify the problem or see exactly what it is or what we think it is, and we can kind of go from there, diagnose it from there. So I want to show you guys some numbers. You guys remember back in May, April, when we first talked about the transfer portal, and we had Mekhi Blackmon, all these different guys that came in. I told you guys this. I said, listen, Mekhi Blackmon, PFF ranked him as one of the top cornerbacks in the country. He was like top 4 and allowing catches that on him. And as a result, man, our defense is reaping the benefits. And you see where they're going to rank up as it relates to pass defense, yardage wise. And so we want to take a look at that. And you couple that with Sierra Wright. You couple that with now Damani coming in. You couple that with Max Williams. You couple that as well with Kalen Bullock. We essentially have a lockdown defensive backfield back there. So we want to look at some of these numbers. We're going to take a look at it, and we're just going to go through it. I want to show you what these guys were ranked preseason, how they ranked these teams, to show you how the bias that they implemented in these rankings. And you see teams like Miami, all these different teams that pass defensive units that they had actually ranked ahead of USC. And you see how successful they are right now, or how unsuccessful they are right now. So let's take a look at that real quick. Here it is right here. Check it out. This is college football. This was a preseason list that was done here. College football's top 15 defensive back units. And I think this is going to really surprise a lot of people when we go back. We're going to actually take a look at the list. We're going to look at the list of the current list now. So let's look at the top 15. Top 15 is going to be Alabama 1. This is defensive back units coming into the preseason. You're going to have Georgia 2. You're going to have Texas A&M 3. We know that they lost in the sauce. We know Iowa, they're lost in the sauce 4. You're going to have Ohio State 5. Let's see. So 6 is going to be Clemson, Penn State, North Carolina State, Boise State, Utah, Miami, Notre Dame, Florida State, Florida, and Cincinnati. Now, I want you guys to remember this list because we're getting ready to go into the current list right now. And I want to show you, of course, the bias, how they always rank these teams ahead, the preseason ranking of what they project the top defensive units are going to be. And we're going to look at the top defensive pass units now. What are they now? All right, so remember all of those teams, and if we look at what's current now as it relates to the passing yards per game, this is it right here. And you see here, first is going to be San Jose State Air Force, but of course we know that they play a lesser opponent. But let's go and look. Alabama 6, ranking 149 yards per game. Ohio State 153 yards per game. They're allowing Michigan. And let's look. We want to see where USC stacks. You got Kentucky. 16, 183 yards per game. Georgia, 191 per game. And then you got, let's see, where USC is ranked number 31, 31st, allowing 204 yards per game. But I want to show you guys something. Remember that list that I just showed you, the top 15 rather. Let's take a look. USC is only allowing 204 yards per game. Let's look who's below us. Florida State, remember they were in that top 15 unit, allowing 206 yards per game. Florida State is below USC. Look who else is below USC. Texas A&M. Remember they were ranked. Notre Dame and Texas A&M both. They were both ranked ahead of USC coming into the preseason as a top 15 unit. Texas A&M allowing 212 yards. Notre Dame allowing 213 yards. Who else is below USC? Mississippi State. They had them ranked pretty high. 215 yards per game they're allowing. Florida. Let's look at Florida. They're ranked 53rd, allowing 220 yards per game. They were ranked in that top 50. Oklahoma, 224 yards per game. They're allowing. Let's go down. You see Oregon State allowing 231. Let's go down. I want to show UCLA. They're allowing 241 yards per game. So this is going to show you here. This is Miami. Miami was ranked as a top 15 unit. They're allowing 251 yards per game. You remember that list we just seen? Miami's ranked 80th in the country, 251 yards per game. Penn State, they had a top 15 unit. They're ranked 200. They're ranked 88th, and they're ranked with 260 yards per game that they're allowing. Remember, Clemson was a top 15 unit. They're ranked 92nd in the country. They're allowing 264 yards per game. You see, I mean, so this is the pre. Here, look at Arkansas. Arkansas is supposed to be the big bad SEC, right? They're ranked 102 in the country, allowing 272 yards per game. Cal allowing 275 yards per game. They're ranked 106 in the country. Look at this. Look, if we just go down, look at Washington, ranked 110 in the country, allowing 279 yards per game. And so we can just continue to go down the list, and we see, look at Washington State. We play them this weekend, 119th in the country, and they allowing 291 yards per game. Tennessee's ranked pretty high. They're in the top 10, right? They're 123rd in the country, 309 yards per game. The SEC, right? What about Oklahoma? They're in the top 10 as well, right? Oklahoma State, 330 yards per game, ranked 128th in the country. Why is nobody talking about this? Look at Oregon, 331 yards per game. So, I mean, you know, a lot of times seeing is believing, man. So, you know, USC is not doing bad. I think you guys got to realize that we're doing better than what a lot of people realize. And you're going to say, oh, okay, USC is ranked. USC, you see, we're ranked number 31. USC is kind of ranked low as it relates to the rushing defense. Well, let's look at it. It's not as bad as what, yes, it can stand us tightening up a lot. But we're not as bad as what people suggest we are. We're ranked number 72 in the country, allowing 154 yards per game. But if you look down here, you see some of the big guys, some of the so-called teams that Arkansas all the way lost in the sauce on every. They're allowing 165 yards per game. I mean, you look at some of these teams, and you would think Texas A&M 186 yards per game. And they got all these recruits. You know, USC, we're so thin on the line, but we're still able to hold our own. And I think that's what you got. Look at Oklahoma. They're allowing 198 yards per game. They're ranked 111th in the country. So listen, man, I want you guys to be encouraged as USC fans and just realize that, listen, USC is not the bottom of the barrel. Could we stand to do better? Absolutely. But we're not, as it relates to the rushing defense, we're not just as bad as what people suggest we are. And so, I mean, we're higher than, a lot of people. You allowing 154 yards per game. You know, yes, it can stand to do improvement. And like I said, if we come out and play like we did in the second half of the Arizona State game, listen, we're not too far from Utah. Look at this. They're ranked 63rd, and they're allowing 143 yards. Everybody said, oh, this Utah defense, this is. But look at their average. I mean, seeing is believing, right? They're not too far from USC. So look, you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. These are the actual numbers here. These are the actual facts. Let's don't go by what media is telling us. Let's go by the facts. All right. So listen, you guys hit me in the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this. All right, so that's our defensive unit and how it stacks up and compares to everybody else. Did this surprise you? Does USC, are they up higher, especially in the passing, as it relates to passing yardage per game than what you expected? Listen, man, I think we got a lot to be thankful for. I think we got a lot to work with. I think we're going to continue to try to shut some people down with the yards per game, especially as it relates to passing. I think our defense has plenty of room to tighten it up, and I think they will tighten it up, even as they did in the second half. And I told you guys the other day, I said, if we come out and play the first half like we did the second half, of the Arizona State game, I think that will tighten our defense up, especially as it relates to our rushing yards. Listen, me and John Walker, we're going to come back and do a preview probably tomorrow of the Washington State game, what we can expect, how Washington State stacks up with us. We'll kind of go through the X's and O's of that stuff. So listen, you guys hit me in the comment section. What do you think about our cornerbacks? What do you think about our run defense? And you guys seen the numbers. So, I mean, we nobody can argue with the numbers. So listen, hit me in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think about that. Until then, listen, get up, get out, make some things happen today. Get your workout on, get your exercise in. Stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.